Cold exposure has been used as a therapeutic practice for thousands of years, from ancient Egyptian remedies to modern cryotherapy and ice baths. But is the science really there yet? Neuroscientist and podcaster Andrew Huberman supports cold water immersion, emphasizing its benefits for reducing inflammation, alleviating soreness, and promoting faster recovery.
Unless your main goal is hypertrophy and strength, that cold exposure, ideally cold immersion in cold water or ice bath, but if you don't have access to that, then cold showers is likely going to be beneficial if done immediately after or in the minutes or hours after your training, especially high-intensity training. Deliberate cold exposure can be very useful for recovery, likely through reductions in inflammation in muscle and connective tissue. If you are somebody who experiences a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness, taking a cold shower after your training or getting into a cold immersion after your training, even if it's a few hours later, ought to help.
Meanwhile, exercise physiologist and YouTuber Mike Israetel challenges the hype, arguing that cold exposure may interfere with the body's natural healing processes.
Hot and cold contrast stuff can do the same thing recovery-wise that cardio after training can do. Specifically, cold exposure and contrast can have this cascade where they cool off your inflammatory systems. That means under the hood, there's no recovery going on, actually less. The systems aren't getting healed, they're not getting fixed. Not in any way that helps the tissues fix themselves faster. Absolutely not. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. The evidence is actually contrary to that. It delays that process. But the inflammatory process is actually what does the recovery. It just takes time. The best thing if you have sore muscles, sleep, eat, and wait.
Both do agree on one thing. Cold exposure immediately after exercise is not ideal for those prioritizing muscle growth.